to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you wish to remain standing, Ms. Leanne Clark from the Twilight Palms Ministerial Association.
Thank you. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this wonderful time of coming together for a city meeting, for the public and our city council to unite and to make the very important decisions of really overseeing this city and its citizens. We thank you for our press that's here tonight, that they are fair and they are reporting the information that really benefits each and every citizen that's here in 29 Palms. And we again thank you for a peaceful meeting, a time of great ideas, a time of productivity. And we thank you again for those who are here tonight serving these positions and for our residents who are here tonight to share their ideas, concerns, and thoughts. And we just thank you and praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Well, let's see if I get this right.
I know what you can say.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Here.
Councilmember Wright,
Here.
Councilwoman Ramirez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz,
Here.
Mayor Bildrain.
Here.
All present?
Closed session announcements. There is nothing to report. Changes to the agenda.
Mayor, there are none.
All right. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website, www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going to the city website and clicking on Meeting Agendas link. Awards, presentations, announcements, and proclamations. There are none. Council comments and reports of meetings attended. Councilwoman Ramirez.
Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I attended the California Cadet Corps drill competition that was here local. Our teams are advancing to the, I guess it's regional competition. And then I also went ahead and attended the Notorious DIG volleyball fundraiser. I went to the East Valley Regional Steering Committee Office of Homeless Services San Bernardino County meeting. It's like the longest acronym ever. I was invited as a special guest to Heart, which I just found out is a nonprofit organization that specializes in helping active duty military spouses get acclimated. So they invited the city to be part of that. And then I also attended the MSA, which is Military Spouse Association bingo night for their scholarship fundraiser. And I did not win anything, but it was fun.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I attended a number of events. I attended the League of California Cities quarterly meeting. The one thing to report from that is that they are going to be supporting legislation that SB 346, which would mandate that all STRs report their information on their websites to the city so that they could be audited for transient occupancy tax. I attended the youth council meeting and engaged in a conversation about leadership with the youth. I attended a fundraiser for Unity Home sponsored by the Virginian and the Back Alley. I attended the Toastmasters meeting, and I was elected to be the first president for the club. I attended a cupcake class presented by a community member who is passionate about teaching people the art of culinary arts. And I attended Congressman Obernolte's office hours at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Wright?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They've both been real busy. I've been at the carnival and All-Stars tournament. Our kids represented 29 very well. And we got 4 teams that's going to be going to Redondo this weekend to represent 29. So show y'all support for our kids. They've been doing a fantastic job. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's see. I was at last week. I had to go to the Mountain Desert Measure I meeting, which is in Victorville. It was really just an update on some of the projects. Everything is just kind of going smoothly. Then on Monday, I went to the air quality meeting in Victorville, and again, they're just cleaning up some of the things for just wordage on their charter. This has been a really great weekend, a week for the city of 29 Palms. Just start off with the Citrus Belt Tournament Women's Championship was held here in town. I don't know if you all knew that. Over 200 women that came from all over the place, Redlands, Hemet, Victorville, Moreno Valley, Marietta, came to 29 Palms to bowl, and our teams took first and second, so that's good. Also, the Rotary Club, the carnival that was in town, set records for attendance and amount of money taken in. And the Rotary is part of that so that they can do fundraising for scholarships for the high school seniors. We give out anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 a year in scholarships, and that's where all that money goes. All that money goes right back in the community. The basketball tournament, of course, was here. The boys basketball team, the girls basketball team, and the boys baseball team all did the gate. They sold 800 wristbands at $10 a piece, so they got to split about $8,000 to help with their programs, because that's one of their biggest fundraisers. So that was really good for them, and that's going to help them throughout the year buy uniforms and equipment and things like that. So that was a good thing. I also went to the fundraiser for the Unity Home. Had to be there, sort of. And also went to the golf tournament. Didn't play very well, but for the DIG thing. So that was fun anyway. At least that was fun. And then I was also involved in the MUSD Zoom meeting for the community schools. They're trying to get a grant to help with, to put together some programs for the community schools. Don't know a lot of details because they won't know till May if they get the grant or not. But the MUSD evidently wants to move forward if they don't get the full grant. So you'll get more details later on that. So that's about it.
All right, thank you. Let's see, where do I start? Myself and Councilmember Scott had a meeting with Bill Tree for the community garden our second one moving forward. Still got a lot of logistics and locations, but we have interest and buy-in from outside agencies, so we're moving forward with that slowly but surely. Opening ceremonies I attended for the 2025 Little League season. That was 2 Fridays ago. Participated in the golf tournament for the fundraising for the girls volleyball club. Meetings with citizens. Let's see. Also the personnel subcommittee meetings we've had over the last week. Also attended the 65th All-Star basketball tournament. I had to do some closing remarks for some of the kids, hoping to inspire them to keep playing in high school. But I will say Park and Rec staff and many local volunteers once again made that look effortless. I mean, with the carnival going on and the tournament, and it's good to see former players and coaches as umpires working the tables and even coaching now. So former All-Stars are now coaching All-Stars and umpiring All-Star games and working tables. So it's good to see the older ones coming back to the community and giving back to where they came from. And that is all I have. Anyone else? Last minute?
Oh, yeah, I got to take a picture with the mayor, too.
It was an honor to take a picture with him and his son because his son played outstanding basketball that last championship game. So it was an honor. I got to take a picture with his son. That's how it should be said. So,
Yeah,
thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor, I have one more thing to talk about the Toastmasters class. I just wanted to say that also our guest speaker for the Toastmasters was actually our very own city manager, Dr. Stone James. And I just wanted to say I appreciated him coming out and supporting the community. Thank you.
He was your guest speaker? How long was that meeting? All right, here we're moving.
Just over 2 hours.
All right. Consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion on the form listed. Any items may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the city council actions. Council.
I had none, but the city manager said he had some wordage before we.
Just a minor wordage change, grammatical adjustment on item number 8, the lease agreement with Family Service Association of Western Riverside County. It's just a very minor,
okay.
something that we can work out with the city attorney.
Okay, thank you.
Public. Eric Melendez.
Hey there, good evening. I just have a comment on the warrant register. It's number 5. I had a discussion with the city clerk the other day. We're just trying to find some information on transactions that are going on over in Visit 29 Palms in relation to some discussions I've been having with multiple people. And one of the things we notice is on their meetings, which are typically delayed because Brianna is only one person over there, sometimes we don't see their meeting agenda or the published minutes for months after the meeting's held. And but on those agenda items, there's no warrant register, so you really can't see what they're spending, line by line as an organization. And I did talk to the finance director, Abigail, who confirmed that the transactions are mixed in with the general warrant register that appears on the city agenda. So it's very hard for us to see what's going in and out as far as Visit 29 goes, what's going on as far as the city goes. And again, I'm not concerned with the city part. I'm more concerned about what we're spending at Visit 29. So I guess my question and comment is just going to be, I really wish there was a way we could have a little more transparency with Visit 29, given the fact that their meetings aren't recorded. We have this extended wait time. She has a limited staff. And I did have a meeting with Councilmember Ramirez and Mayor Bilderate about some of my concerns, and I appreciate the time. And we'll talk a little bit about that in my public comment. So, thank you.
Thank you. Robin? Number 8? Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Robin Schlosser. I'm 2 hats. One is a member of the community, but also for Reach Out Morongo Basin. I would like to speak in favor of number 8, the upcoming lease with Family Service Association. They do provide the Senior Nutrition Center program at the Senior Center, and it is very vital to the clients that we serve there at the community. One thing I would like to bring to mind, though, when I was reviewing the contract today, the times that they were allowed access to the building is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And as the managers for the facility, we don't have the building staffed until 8:30 a.m. So if we could adjust that, that would be wonderful, from 8:30 to 1:30, to coincide with the hours that I actually have staff on site. I would appreciate that. But other than that, they do a good job, and they're very beneficial, and we look forward to the revisions and having them work with us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. You got that?
And yeah, just to confirm, the start time would be 8:30 a.m. and it would still end by 1 or
At
1:30? Okay, very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. I
Right.
will make that change.
No more? Anything else from the council? No? Looking for a motion?
I'll move the consent calendar with the amendments to number 8.
I'll
Second. I was louder.
Councilwoman Ramirez,
Aye.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz,
Aye.
Mayor Bilderrain.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
No items removed, public hearing none. Discussion and potential action items. Number 9, North Adobe Commercial Area.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a large area in the north part of the city that is up against the base that is zoned for general commercial uses. We've been approached by more than one potential applicant developer up there who would like to do things more of light industrial nature, like self-storage or car storage and things like that that aren't specifically allowed in general commercial. What I'm asking for direction on the city council is should we potentially explore a rezoning up there to do something more light industrial in nature? Of course, we'd have to go through the process with, coordination with the base and some other, regular process we have to go through. So that's the purpose of this discussion today.
Okay, council, any questions?
So right now it's zoned general commercial, so they would have to have a CVP to get, if they wanted to use, change the usage, right? Is that?
Yeah, so there's more than one way of doing it, but we could do a general plan amendment and a rezoning for some areas to allow for some more light industrial uses, or we could do a development code amendment to allow for these types of things. So,
But
so
this
we're
would
looking for
streamline it. In other words, this
Yeah.
would make it so if they looked at our general plan online, they'd go, oh, I could put it there. I
That's
don't need to
correct.
go through the expense of a CUP. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Well, they still have to go through a process.
Well, yeah,
so
but they wouldn't have to
rezone it. and all
rezone
those
it, yeah.
things.
Anyone else? No? All right. To the public, Carlos Blandon, is that correct?
If you put an accent over the O, it's Blandon, but
Blandon, like I
yeah.
said.
Let me get my notes. So far, what I keep hearing a theme is reasonable cost. Kind of want to underlay between previous agendas, this agenda, and the following coming up. But let me go back to my premeditated speech. When looking at these odd changes, one of them has asked, who does this benefit? I gather from the public notes that this is kind of like a pandering move to special friends such as landowners and development. Usually average citizens must file and pay for these development code amendments and go through regular processing with fees and plans to be submitted. Like you're forcing me to set up, when I want to set up term limits for your planning commission, you're trying to charge me $6,000 for it. But instead, this council is doing their work for them. I believe this council should be more focused on the needs of the city's people. If this rezoning is for the future site for a city sewer treatment facility, then I highly support it. Because it's the only way the city will really have growth and progress if the city has a sewer treatment facility. The treatment facility allows developers to build and not restrict by size and capacity by the septic system. Back to my main point. What is this rezoning study for, and for whom? Thank you.
Thank you. Button's not working. Council? No?
No, I'm good with it.
All right.
So is this a discussion only, or do we?
I'm just looking for.
This is a recommendation to keep push it.
Yeah, it's a
look into it.
recommendation to us to whether or not we should continue to study the issue or.
Yeah, study
Or
the
if
issue,
it's-
but get with base, because their security
Yeah.
measures would be probably in the avoid everything, so,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Number 10, environmental impact report agreements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is more of a procedural question for the city council. Whenever there's environmental impact reports that for private developments, there is a reimbursements that occur or would occur between the city, the potential developer, and the CEQA consultant. It's not technically a city purchase, so it wouldn't quite fall into the city having to come back to the city council for allowing a purchase, because it's a reimbursement agreement, because we would be reimbursed by the developer for any costs incurred. So I'm asking for clarification to see if the city manager can enter into these reimbursement agreements between the city, potential developers, and the CEQA consultant to conduct these environmental impact reports.
Council, questions?
Does this streamline it? So it
Yes.
actually makes it so the developer, we're not doing them any favors, we're just
No.
trying to streamline the fact that they could get through the process quicker.
Yeah, and instead of having to wait for a city council agenda to make this happen, I mean, the agreements would still be public and all of that, but it was just
And this is no cost to us, correct?
no cost.
Okay, just making sure that's clear.
And
Thank
if
you.
I could add to that, right, so when a project comes forward to the city and they submit the application, the community development director is going to make a determination what environmental studies need to be done. And we wouldn't want to have a situation where the applicant is paying for an environmental study, because that is not a good scenario to have. And so, Keith here would identify you need to do these studies, and then ultimately the applicant would reimburse the city for the cost of those studies. So that's what he is looking to accomplish here, is to give me the authority to engage those studies as a part of their entitlement package, understanding that it would be reimbursed by the applicant.
Yeah, but they've already put up the bond money, right? Before, so
Yeah,
it's
so
not like they just come in and we do it and then there's there's a bond.
they
Not a
definitely
bond,
give
though.
us deposits.
All right,
Yeah.
deposit, okay.
Yeah, deposit, not a
all right.
bond.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify that.
Correct. Yes. It's not an IOU.
All right, no one else from the council? No questions? All right, to the public, Carlos Blandon. I said it wrong again, didn't I? I enunciated wrong.
He's gonna stick with one tongue, I guess.
Yes, yep.
Bonding, though, it's very important. I know there's a lot of developers come and he's abandoned, and the problem is a lot of cities don't do bonding to reclaim these sites. Anyways, back to my main point. Oddly, this agency does not have processing decision when an applicant comes in and brings in an application packet, what they're deciding to do on our city. When a proponent applies, this is a vital for transparency and communication on reasonable costs for our department. What is reasonable cost? Reasonable costs include, but not limited to, the cost of special studies, environmental impacts, statements, monitoring construction, operation, maintenance, and termination of any authorized facility or other special activities. In determining whether costs are reasonable under this section, one may take into consideration the actual costs, the monetary value of the rights and privileges sought by the applicant, the efficiency of the government processing involved, that portion of the costs incurred for the benefit of the general public interest rather than the exclusive benefit of the applicant. Not having these agreements before any processing begins is just handshakes and smiles without any communication to the proponent what it takes to get their vision on the ground. We need a work-based structure. We can say a financial plan, how many work hours it's going to take, what kind of studies are involved, what those prices are estimated to be, at least an initial deposit to get our city employees get going. Thank you.
Thank you. Council.
And you said they already give a deposit, right?
Right, the idea is the developer would, or the applicant would give us deposits and reimburse us for any costs.
Yeah.
So the only question is whether that agreement, that reimbursement agreement, would go to the city council or if it's a city manager
Right.
signature.
I'm okay with that, because it's,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I don't know, you looking for a motion?
Yep, looking for a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion that we approve that the city manager can reach agreements with the, between the city and the relevant consultants for environmental impacts results.
I can second that.
I was
You
fast.
guys are good.
He was faster. I'll let him have it.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ramirez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz,
Aye.
Mayor Bildery.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Number 11, approval of San Bernardino County Department of Public Health Environmental Health Services Street Vending Collaboration Program.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This particular program has been introduced by County Environmental Health for them to do what they're calling remote inspections. In particular, this is pertaining to street vendors. They are keeping a database of street vendors, legal and otherwise, and they would like to cooperate with the city of 29, with our code enforcement division, and the county sheriff to verify whether these street vendors have the correct health inspections and other certifications in order to operate. And if they're not, then we can go into more stricter enforcement actions. So this is just an agreement for us to cooperate with County Environmental Health on their program, at no cost to the city.
Council?
Yeah, I think this is a great program. Actually, I had a little bit of time to speak to Keith about it. And so my understanding is that somebody from the county would be able to FaceTime one of our code enforcement officers while they're out in the field. And I think that's, you know, we're so remote out here, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that is the intent.
I also am supportive of this idea. So when you look up SB 946, that's also known as the Safe Sidewalk Vending Act, this law decriminalizes sidewalk vending in California and allows for local authorities to adopt non-criminal laws to protect public health. So if what we're truly caring about is the health and well-being of the public, then it seems kind of counterproductive to have these criminal laws to say, hey, you're out here selling hot dogs or you're out here selling fruit, and punish someone who's trying to make a living, honest, hardworking people. So I am 100% in favor of this.
Or any from the public? Nothing? Besides that? Nope. Eric?
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to, Eric Menendez, 7347529 Palms Highway.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to support this as well. You know, one of the things that when we were doing the Pride celebration, which we did through Rediscover 29 a few years ago, you know, we had trouble getting vendors to come up here as far as the regulation with the county. Even when I had our shop open and we had the small retail vending items were you know, packaged bars, getting the environmental health permit through the county is a process in itself. So anything we can do to work with the county to facilitate businesses up here is great. And I want to add, as Joshua Tree Gateway Communities Alliance, one of the things that when we were trying to throw together the Pride celebration this November, which was just too short a time because we just started the organization in September, it was the same issue I ran into, trying to get the roadblocks with people with getting a temporary business license up here, environmental health and so forth. So I think this is great. One of the things that people come up to me and ask, and hopefully we can talk about this at Planning Commission, maybe would be a way to streamline permit, you know, temporary, either a day use permit or something like that we could explore to bring craft vendors. As you know, I've been active in the Village Fest down below. I'm making a lot of contacts, and I think the way they do things down there is great. They do have a special type of license for the Village Fest will do, and they'll help you get like your insurance and stuff. I think that's a great way we can spur economic development for the town, for the city. So I am totally in support of this, and I think, as you said, Councilwoman Ramirez, I think we do need to recognize street vendors. They're trying to make a living too, not just street vendors, like some of these pop-up vendors that, like Richard, 29 Loaves, he does the pop-ups at the Historic Plaza, and I see him in Yucca. You know, these are people who have all the necessary permits who are trying to make a living, so we should be supporting them. And as far as like the carts and stuff like that, same thing. They're trying to make a living, and we shouldn't be putting them into a basket of trying to criminalize or ticket them for trying to do something. So anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Those that are legal, there could be like a sign saying or a flag. They have a card. Because there's a lot of times I want to stop for tacos, and I don't want to be the one at the illegal taco stand. So.
I think we need to have a discussion offline.
All right, because I want to stop and get them, but I don't know if they're legal or permitted.
And sometimes they're not.
And that's the day that Desert Trump will take a picture of me getting a taco from an illegal stand, and it'll be all over the internet probably. Never. Right. So I'm always scared, like, oh, I want a taco so bad, but I'm going to get caught the wrong one. So, yeah, so. No, but
If we participate in this program, we'll know exactly which ones are fully
all right.
good to go.
We good? Yeah. All right. You just want recommendation? Do you want to vote? Is this a vote one?
If we could get a vote, that'd be great.
Let's go. A motion?
I make a motion that the city council approve the participation in the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health Environmental Health Service Street Vendor Collaboration Program.
I second.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Bilderman?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
All right. Future council initiated items. Any updates?
Yes. So it's actually going to include those during my city manager comments.
Oh, we'll wait. 'Cause I don't want to hear it twice.
Okay.
All right. Any new ones then? No?
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for the strategic planning session, but there is that, that need that I want to put on the agenda for to increase funding for Pioneer Day so that we can have a skating rink. Sorry.
I got you. All right.
And also, Mayor, too, I'd like to add, in a discussion with Councilmember Scott here today, we had taken off one of the future agenda items, which was the shower in the resource center, because we had begun to dedicate some of the funds to the club center. But in thinking that through, that's something that we're going to put back on just as a reminder.
Okay, so we're moving up to public comments. This is a time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and should not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out a name and address slips and give it to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law by taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Eric, you're up again. Oh, man. All right. Since I know you stay in those, I know you've been practicing, so I know I'm going to go ahead. All right. All right. Ben Guzman?
Hello. Thanks everybody for being here. This is my first time speaking at one of these, so I'm a little nervous. But my name is Ben Guzman. I'm a resident of 29 Palms and an outreach specialist at a nonprofit called Reach Out Yucca Valley. And I just want to inform the council of our services. If you know of anyone in the community struggling with opioid use disorder, or if they need fentanyl test strips, anything like that, Narcan, please see us at Reach Out Yucca Valley. We're right by the Chase Bank in the library. Thank you very much.
Thank
Sir,
you.
Could
Go
you,
ahead.
sir, would you please repeat how they would contact you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can reach me at 760-365-7130 or Benjamin, BENJAMIN, at we-reachout.org. Thank you.
I'm just going to say that real quick for the folks at home. That was 760-365-7130. And that's Benjamin, common spelling, at we-reach.com. Reachout.org. I apologize. Thank you.
All right. You want to go last, Eric?
Oh, is it still the only one public comment?
No, you're, well,
Yeah, no, I'm still.
Susan. That's why I was like, which one do I go first?
Hello, Susan Peplow, property owner of 29 Palms and stakeholder. I'm here tonight to address the ongoing lack of outreach and communication from the Tourism Board to stakeholders and to the public. Despite frequent concerns, little progress has been made to improve transparency and engagement. Since the last City Council session, a reminder for event grant applications appeared just 12 days before the deadline. If the goal is to distribute $200,000 in sponsorships and promote 29 Palms as a destination, why is isn't there a stronger marketing push for this program? What methods and what timeline is the TBID reaching out to potential organizers? Stakeholder outreach remains a critical issue. As I mentioned earlier this month, accommodation providers, both existing and new, are not being engaged. This includes the new Hotel Wren. Has the TBID welcomed this new business or informed them about resources or partnership opportunities or how to be listed on Visit 29? Visit 29's state page shows Hotel Wren is still missing, despite being licensed back in November. In 2023, significant effort and expenses were put into redesigning Visit 29 website to allow stakeholders and other businesses, like the Palladium you should have posted, to advertise and post events. Yet only 5 vacation homes have been added since 2023. With free listings available, why is participation so low? Could the lack of listings be driving potential visitors to stay and pay our neighboring communities due to apparent lack of options? I'm not one for public information requests. I don't find them costly, and I think it is a waste of staff time. But I urge City Council to request a report from the TBID outreach effort. When and how often are they contacting stakeholders? What methods do they use? For time-sensitive initiatives, is the communication timeline reasonable? For those who subscribe to Visit 29 newsletter, when was the last newsletter? And when was the one before that? These concerns have been raised repeatedly in public comments and direct correspondence with the TBID board, the director, and at times city leadership. Despite offering research, recommendation, volunteer assistance, responses remain rare or absent. The TBID's mission is to, quote, to promote growth in travel and tourism in 29 Palms, formed through a public-private partnership between the City of 29 Palms and its lodging owners and operators. So if partnership is the foundation, why is communication with stakeholders and the public so lacking? I ask the City Council, as the oversight authority, to intervene.
Almost, you almost got it. Eric? All right.
All right, Eric Mineta, 73475 29 Palms Highway. I gave you guys, I hope everyone got one of these here. It's a copy of my comment here is also on the TBID. And I hadn't had a chance to talk with Susan about things today, so you know, I was curious what she had to say today too, because she's been out. But you know, about the fact that we're going under the Civitas thing again, another $25,000 to do the same study we just did in 2023. And this is the same study of which I was on the steering committee as a stakeholder back before Desert Beacon, before I closed the company. I really, again, want to thank Councilmember Ramirez and Mayor Bildering for taking the time to meet with me this week. And Councilmember Scott, we've spent hundreds of hours discussing this, so that's really why I didn't reach out with you. And I know Councilmember Mintz, we've talked briefly about some of my concerns before. You know, I'm just frustrated with this because we show up to the TBID meeting, there's no transparency, there's no camera, there's no going back to see what was covered. I think the Desert Trumpet has done a great job kind of summarizing what was on at TBID. Jonathan Hume, Natalie, they're great. You know, what it concerns me is when we bring these to the concern, Brianne is the subject and she's also taking the notes. So she's the minute taker, she's the staff member. You know, we're holding on, you know, I mean, we've asked for help for her for years and she continues to kind of say, no, I got it, I have a part-time helper, I have this. It's not working, and again, it's not, and then when we bring this to the board's concern, they turn around and start talking about being personally attacked, and it's not a personal attack. You know, we're stakeholders, we have a right in this. So I'm not gonna go over each every one of these, but I want you to consider, this is her staff report for the renewal of the TBID, and there are 3 brand new people on this board who weren't around in 2023, who didn't pay attention what was going on. There's no mention of this study, the process, the recall of the TBID, the subsequent special meeting to bring the TBID back. You know, Not one mention of that. I mean, why is that? And then you go down and, you know, the event grants, it's a great thing. You know, it's just like, we've asking for 2 years now, you know, or a year and a half. Can we get an audit? Can we get like some sort of, you know, scientific study of what's going on? No. And we're just getting the notification, okay, let's give out another few $100,000 and give it 12 days for people to apply. They're not sustainable events. And our city manager wasn't here, so he doesn't know all the history of the T-bed. You know, I was talking to a meeting with Stone last year on the floods, and when I was trying to voice my concerns, I was told, Eric, if you voice concern about the T-bed, I won't be able to support you on this. Because I understand he had a lot of stuff, and he gave me the preface. It was more political, trying to not ruffle people, and I get that. I filled out of the Dr. Stone School of Politics and Congeniality. You know, it's a serious concern, and I've lost a lot of money. Other stakeholders have. I don't see this as, you know, it just needs to be looked at and addressed. We need to address the conflicts. We need to make sure the board is working. But to spend another $25,000, just read my comments here on this thing. We're going to be holding public workshops, and I've hired an outside firm through the stakeholders, and we're going to be addressing this further. I'd like to engage with the council. Thank you.
Almost got it all
Almost.
in. Yeah. Carlos?
Carlos Blanton, homeowner, resident. I've been here for a year, even before my tenure, doing my research on which house I should purchase. I really didn't see any advertisement for Tidbid. This is the first time coming to these meetings I hear about Tidbid. And besides me researching your website and figuring out pockets and holes you have in your transparency issues and communications and legal policies in your website. But besides that, yeah, what is Tidbid doing? Because, you know, transparency is all the game. And I know in every department, government to private, you have to have a work structure. What are you charging? What are these fees going for? It's just a number you're providing to the people and you're saying, give it to me, and that's it? You know, like I said, I never seen any social media or advertising for Tidbid. The only events I learned from the city was data mining private businesses and seeing their advertisements for their Instagrams and their Facebooks. Nothing on anywhere else. Just 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. City manager's update. Are you reading it for Susan or you? All right, come on up. I know. I can hear the sidebars going the whole time. So come on. It's all right. Please give me your whole name and address.
It's Mary Kay Sherry, 5330 Daisy Avenue and 29 Palms, and I have to take these off. I asked the City Council as the oversight authority to intervene. How can we improve transparency and outreach before discussing broader changes like the 94 law conversion and a 5-year renewal term? Finally, I request the City Council formally place a T-bid ordinance revamp, including board term limits, subcommittee oversight, and reporting requirements on a future agenda, and consider halting further payments to Civitas, is it? And the conversion process at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Anonymous. I'm sorry. Sorry, anonymous. Thank you. City manager's update.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to touch bases on a couple of things. The long-awaited strategic planning session, we're going to have, it's going to be broken up into 2 components. The first component is going to be on Friday, April 4th. It's going to begin at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers. And then that is going to be really an overview of department activity. So that's going to be an opportunity for the public to really understand what departments do we have within the city, what do they do, what generally are the staffing levels within those departments, what are some recent accomplishments, what are some current projects, upcoming expenditures that they see in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, material expenditures, and then also future opportunities. So that's going to occur on Friday. And then on Saturday, April 5th, we're going to roll into more of the visioning session and the strategic planning for the city. We are still working on a location. It will either be here within City Hall or what's going to be within Freedom Plaza. There are some technical issues that we're working through that will determine whether or not it could be held within Freedom Plaza. And the anticipated start time of that is going to be 10 a.m., and that again is on Saturday, April 5th. Also wanted to touch bases, circle back on some future council-initiated items. The Boys and Girls Club city staff had a productive meeting with the chairman of the board and the executive director of Boys and Girls Club, talked about some of the community needs, really kind of explored that. We also had Carrie Minitry. She was a key contributor to that conversation. And so really it was a great review of what does the city currently offer in terms of summer programs, and then also what does the community lack, and how can Boys and Girls Club kind of fill that need. And so just a special thanks to Councilwoman April Ramirez for kicking that off. This had begun several years ago, but due to some changes within the Boys and Girls Club, it kind of stalled. And so thankfully the enthusiasm here has reignited it. The goal ultimately with these discussions is for the Boys and Girls Club to come back with the city with really an overview of what they could do. And that really would include having a program here within the city, and potentially, ideally, it would be year-round, but we're still working on determining that. Really, the Boys and Girls Club is working on determining that, but they have the heart, they have the spirit to want to provide that. In terms of other agenda items, the city staff and the city attorney's office is working on creating an agreement that would be used with nonprofits, and also filling out what are some of those criteria. So this will be an item that we will bring back to council here in the coming month or so for additional direction. And that is all I have.
One more thing, Mr. City Manager, just an update on the Coachella Valley Housing Coalition and the buying of lots.
Yes, sir. So that is something that the city staff would like to put on the agenda for the second meeting in April, as the first meeting in April, April 8th, will be canceled due to the work that city staff is going to be putting in on the Friday and Saturday and everything that's going to go into that. We're going to need to push items from April 8th to the last meeting of April, and I want to say that's April 22nd, so thank you so much. And so, with council support, we would go ahead and place that on as a future agenda item, and that is the council wanting to purchase the lots for that self-help housing. So if that is something that the council supports, then I can go ahead and do that. Yes, sir. Yes, I am. April 22nd, it would go on. So on April 22nd, yes, city staff, in anticipation of the April 22nd meeting, would bring the concept of purchasing the lots that could ultimately be given to a self-help housing program. That would be brought to the city council so that city staff and the city attorney's office could give the council an update on what has been accomplished, who are potential buyers, and then ultimately would be an opportunity for the city council to discuss, do they want to go ahead and purchase the lots? Is there enough information available to make that decision to purchase the lots? Things of that nature.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. City Manager.
Anything else? We're all good? Yes. Good?
Yes, sir.
Hope everyone participates in the workshop. Remember, it's a strategic planning workshop. It's a workshop. So please come and give us your ideas and listen to what we're doing, get some knowledge of what's going on in case you didn't know. But it's a workshop, not set in stone shop, all right? It's a workshop. We're going to work through it. If you come late, you might miss a lot of good stuff, and we're not going to repeat it. I know you guys are busy at spring break, so we're going to come do this meeting. We're going to kick it off, and it's supposed to end at a certain time, but if we're done, we're not going to sit around and just talk to each other, just to talk to each other, right? So don't miss out.
Just to correct, first workshop's April 4th, 5 p.m. here at City Hall.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And Mayor, I have one other thought too. I could contribute to that.
Go ahead.
And so one thing I think it's important to communicate to the community is that this really is going to be about the long-term visioning of the city, and then the establishment of goals. And in an ideal world, what we do is once we on Saturday identify who it is we are now, who we want to become in 15 or 20 years, and then start to work backwards on what are those goals looking like at 1, 3, and 5 years. There may be a temptation for some individuals to come and want to discuss the merits of T-bid. This is not the place for that, and so certainly there will be an opportunity for a 3-minute public comment. But this is about the strategic direction of the city, and not really a place to maybe grind axes on certain issues that are more tactical in nature. And so that's important, because that's not what this meeting's going to be about.
Yes. Right. Eric, do you have some?
Yeah, we think that was totally unnecessary. I just heard the public comment over there. I mean, T-bid, I don't think any of us have an axe to grind at the city. You know what I mean? But what I was gonna ask, well, we have the opportunity to ask questions, because tourism affects every aspect of our economy. And unlike Mr. James, I was here in 2017. I came here when I saw what downtown looked like before. I watched it come back. I worked with, we discovered 20 items, we brought them back.
Sir, would you please be able to come up to the microphone if the mayor's...
We're good.
Okay. Okay.
More than 3 minutes to voice our concerns. Will it be interactive? That's the question.
No, I understand your concerns. We all understand them. All right, it's a workshop, not just. I know you'll be there. We'll talk then. Yeah. All right. We'll adjourn this meeting to April 22nd. Thank you. Have a good weekend.